Vic, is it not recording?
It looks like it's recording.
Okay, perfect. We got it. All right. Thank you guys so very much for being with us this evening. I'm doing double duty. I am actually going to introduce our guest speaker, and then I'm going to run away and go train for another national vice president tonight at the same time. So I'm doing a little duo here, but so excited for this evening. And just to tell all of you as a reminder, there's an incredible incentive going on right now with Arbonne, the 2,500. If you hit 2,500, you get the Arbonne branded Bluetooth. So go for that. Close your month strong. We've got the New York incentive that's ahead of us. That was just announced. So please just take advantage of all these wonderful opportunities to gain all the rewards. So tonight, guys, I love Beth Lomas with all my heart. She's from Charlotte, North Carolina. She's married to the sweetest Brian Lomas, and they have 5 children together. And she has actually been in Arbonne for over 7 years. She has 12 regional vice presidents, and she has a very global business. She's in Canada. She's got a team in the UK, and she's got 2 regional vice presidents in Australia, as well as 1 that's in qualification in Australia. So Beth has a heart so big for others. She has been one of the moving NVPs that has been taking over Haiti with all of the Arbonne love that we can give that sweet country. She has truly done so much for so many other people. And many of you probably are Facebook friends with Beth, and you know that tomorrow's a big day for her. And yet, in the spite of all of that, she is really overcoming, having a distraction to serve other people. And I heard a sermon, Beth, the other day, and it was, if you have problems in your life, just cover it up with serving other people. And it truly does make a difference. And you have given yourself so selflessly to all of us. So guys, I'm going to turn this call over to Beth. And then at the end of this, hopefully I'll be back. If not, Vicky's going to close our call together. So Beth, take it away. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, let's see. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can somebody just? Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right. My little phone got a little frozen, so I apologize about that. So, well, no, thank you so much. You are so sweet. And honestly, I'm just excited to share, to be really honest. You know, this has just been, you know, even in this last year, you know, one of the best parts about this business is friendships and the relationships that you make. And when I look at, you know, my friendship with Tammy and with Vicky and with all of you gals, and so many of you I know, I absolutely love it. And I'm going to sit, hold on a second. Let me just move this little thing. Let me see if I can fix this, because I can't see anything. It's kind of weird. Maybe not. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go with this. Let's see. All right, well, we're just gonna go with this. Oh dang, hold on. Let me flip you. Okay. It's like it's like a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square on my phone, but we're just gonna go with it. But a few things I want to share. You know, Tammy was sharing with me that you guys have an incredible incentive that just got launched, which is really exciting. And a lot of it is really around some of the fundamentals that, is it too quiet? Can you guys not hear me? Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. If not, I'll bring you closer to me. Maybe that's what I need to do. Here, hold on. No, I hear fine. Okay, perfect. Okay. Just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. So, you know, I want to share with you guys just one of the main fundamentals in this business. And, you know, it's really it's where we all start when we're a brand new consultant and we're just getting started. It's where we all start in this business, is, you know, getting started, getting launched, and honestly getting to the first level of this business. And most of us can get there, you know, got there by yourself. I will tell you, when I very first got started in Arbonne, a little over 7 years ago, to be honest, I was so crazy excited about my business. And I was excited for where it was going to go. I was excited for what it was going to do. And honestly, like, I wanted to tell everybody about it because I wanted everybody to have what I had because I was just so excited. And, I think sometimes no matter how long you've been doing Arbonne, whether you've been doing it for 30 seconds or you've been doing it for a year or 5 years or even 10 years, I think we have to remember, I think one of the things that I know that, whenever I start somebody new, I have to remember their excitement and I have to go back to where my first excitement was. And, I think sometimes when we start working this business for a little while and things don't go to plan, which are going to happen. We'll talk about that in just a second. But the thing is we start, feeling like, not everybody's going to be an ace. And we start, looking at people with a little bit more of a jaded mentality versus continuing to look at people with those rose-colored glasses. And so a couple of things I just want to share with you guys tonight is, really some tips on truly becoming a district manager making machine. I know when I very first got started, they told, the secret to success and the secret to becoming a region was promote out a district every single month for a year. And in a year, you'll be a region. Guys, that was a piece of advice I did to the letter. I started my business and within a year promoted to region, and I had 12 direct district managers. It was always, who are you starting? Who are you getting into qualification strong? Who are you helping finish? Every month. So it's like, my mantra for my team, and we talked about it all the time, was who is your one? Who is the one person that you're starting? But the thing about it is that we can start a lot of people. You can look back at your sponsoring numbers and you can see people that you're starting and people that you're launching and people that are part of your business that you're bringing in, but they're not necessarily getting to district. And so, a lot of times we really focus on absolutely getting people sponsored, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, but it's what do we do when we get them? And guys, the number thing I want to tell you first and foremost is just keep the bar high. It is your job to paint the picture, guys. People are not, when they sign up and decide to start an Arbonne business, it's not because they're looking for a hobby. I have yet in 7.5 years sat at a coffee date and had somebody say, you know what, I just got all this free time on my hands. I got nothing to do with myself. I think I just am looking for a hobby, so when I've got some free time, let me see what I can do. No, guys, I'm going to be really honest with you. People are getting started in this business because they see hope. They see what this business can honestly do for them. And it's our job. We are their business coach and understand the importance of your role in their business. It is your job to keep the bar high. Guys, the option to the bar by default is doing less. When we launch somebody and we're getting somebody started, we don't need to offer less as an option because they're going to naturally default to that. It's our job to coach people, to mentor them, to teach them how to do this business. But it's our job, honestly, to keep that bar high. But also, too, is our job it's our job, and Eric Worre talks about this in his book, GoPro, which I absolutely love, is, it's our job to keep them over the line. And basically what I'm talking about, and he talks about in that business, is it is our job. There's like an imaginary line in people's businesses, and it is our job to, to where we get people over that line. And the line basically is on this side of the line is it's easier just to quit than it is to keep going, versus you get them over the line and it's easier to just keep going than it is to quit. And a few ways that you can do that and get people over the line and get people committed for the long haul. Number one is obviously, of course, naturally selling product. And, they feel successful when they're out selling products, which is why launch events are so important. Truly helping them make money, a little bit of money, even in the beginning. That's why, every time somebody gets their first paycheck, we're always like, $17, yay. Or maybe it's $117 or it's $700. Actually, the gal, her very first paycheck was over $700. She about fell out. So, we were celebrating making money. But the thing is that I truly believe that the number one way we get people over the line more than anything else is we help them build a team. And guys, we are their business coach, we are their mentor, and it's our job to help them, yes, get started, but really honestly help them build a team. And I'm going to give you guys some tips that I've been really sharing a lot with my own nation, and things that we've been really focusing on, and hopefully they'll help you guys too. But first and foremost is, when you do have somebody new that is getting started, guys, I cannot stress enough to you to launch them with strength. And as you're sitting down and maybe you're having a coffee date with them and you're going through a getting started training, I think one of the things that we do, even when we do a getting started training, we get really focused on absolutely activity, 100%, as you should. But I think we get so focused on activity and getting activity on our books that we don't focus on leading with the business first. I will tell you that my team in Australia is absolutely exploding. And they lead with so much strength on the business. My US team is doing amazing, absolutely, as well. And it's just, the Australian culture is a little bit different, and they figured out a little bit faster how to embrace that culture along with leading with the business with strength. And we're working on incorporating a lot of that, here in the US, and with a lot of our teams. And a lot of what we're doing is truly launching people with strength. And what I mean by that is, if I'm sitting with somebody and I'm doing getting started, and we're sitting down and I show them basically how the business works, and they say, this is what I want to do. Most people say, the car, I want to get to the car. And I'm like, how soon do you want to get there? And they say, it'd be great to get there in a year. And I'm like, okay, awesome. How much time are you willing to devote to this? And how much time do you have on your calendar? And they say, well, I could probably do 2 to 3 nights a week. I'm like, perfect, that's great. That's exactly, our formula for success. And we kind of get started from there as to what it looks like. I said, well, if that's what you want to accomplish out of this business, and that's what you're really looking for, this is what most people do. And guys, that little language, this is what most people do, is so simple and so easy to use. And it doesn't sound like scary. It doesn't sound weird. So this is what most people do. What most people do is we go ahead and grab 3 days off my calendar, and as well as a 4th little morning appointment. And so basically what we'll be doing is we'll get started, let's just say, for example, we pick a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday, and say Saturday morning, we're just going to do a little coffee event. And basically what that little coffee event is, kind of like a little mini pocket Discover Arbonne, but I'll talk about that in just a second. And they say, oh my gosh, so 3 events. And I said, yes. And I said, the reason why we do, 3 events is, number one, it's kind of on the job training. So you're going to learn how to do the presentation with me. I always say, I do, we do, and then you do. And then by the time that we do the 3rd one, I can sit and watch you. And if you're not completely ready, I'll do a few of it as, we can do another one kind of together, but you'll just do a little bit more of it. So number one is for the practice and really getting them on their skill set, which I'll talk about in just a second, getting them on their skill set of how to do a great presentation. But I'm also going to sit and say, but also the people that are at that event that want to join your business, we're going to find them at the beginning, which I'm going to talk about in just a second as well. But you're also going to earn products. We're going to book events, the whole 9 yards. But anybody who comes to those first 3 events that is interested in joining your business, we're going to see if they can just pop over Saturday morning for a quick cup of coffee and just check this out a little bit more. Guys, when I do that and we have that, dream team event or business event or just a little, coffee, you can do mimosas, whatever you want to do. But when we have that little 4th event scheduled on our calendar, it is amazing how many people respond to it and how many people start with the team. And even if it's only 2 or 3 gals, usually 2 or at least one of them is going to get started. And I'm starting her with a team. And guys, we all know that as soon as somebody has somebody on their team, we know literally that they're all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, like I'm leading somebody. I actually have to do this. Like I have somebody on my team. It immediately helps them feel empowered, which is again, also helping them get across that line, is again, helping them build a team. And so that's the number one thing. Here's the other thing though, too, just the other little caveat to that before I keep going is if you sit down with somebody, you're in the middle of having coffee and they're just kind of on, they're like, yeah, I want the car. Yeah, I want it a year. This is how much time I have, that I can devote to this. And it's not computing. They're like, well, I can maybe do 1 or 2 events a month. Well, we all know that that's going to be difficult because this is a numbers game. This is all about the amount of people you put, you know, this business in front of is key. And we're going to have people, guys. I mean, I have VPs on my team that when I first sat down and we had a coffee date and I said, okay, let's grab 3 dates off your calendar, plus a little, you know, little meeting that we're going to talk a little bit more about the business. And again, I'm really casual with my language. I don't get too businessy. And she sits and says, oh my gosh, well, I mean, like, that sounds like a lot. Like, I mean, 3, like that's 4 dates out of the week. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's just to get you started. It's just a little bit of hump. It's kind of like a learning curve. Just like when you start a new job, there's a little bit of a learning curve. There's a lot to kind of take in. It's just a little bit of a baby learning curve. And from there, you can sit and do 2 to 3, not so many. But if they're sitting there, I push back, they're like, well, you know, I don't know. That just sounds like a lot. And I just said, okay, so what are you comfortable doing? Like, what works for you? And I step back, nice and simple. And she might sit and say, well, you know, let's just do a couple, see where it goes. Awesome. Perfect. Guys, I'm going to be really honest. Those are people. And this is where I think that we lose people too fast, because I think we leave people too fast. So if they want to just do 2 or 1, I'm like, awesome. Let's just do a couple, see what happens. No big deal. Guys, to be honest, I mean, one of my biggest fears in Arbonne when I first got started was I just didn't want to be the pushy girl. Like, I did not want to be the pushy Arbonne girl. And so I just said, you know, totally no big deal. Let's just do a couple. And honestly, I hostess coach her until she's decided to commit to this business. I kind of treat her like a glorified hostess. And I'm going to sit and coach her like she's a hostess. I'm going to be like, who's coming, who's this, who's that, spend a little bit of time with her, but I'm not going to go into an exorbitant amount of detail. I'm not going to teach her how to key in orders. I'm not going to teach her all these other things. You know, she wants to book some activity. That's also kind of a way for me to measure her, you know, commitment level to her business. And there's a lot of people in the beginning of this business that are going to kind of like tiptoe in. I was a jump in the pool kind of girl, just like, you know, you got a cold pool sitting there. You know, there's kind of 2 kinds of people, either people that just get in and get it over with, or stick your pinky toe in. In this business, we have the exact same thing. We have people that kind of stick their pinky toe in and kind of meander their way into the pool. And then once they get there and they know that, you know, they've gotten used to it, the water, you know, their body's acclimated to the temperature, they're good, and they can play and have a good time in the pool. And then all of a sudden everything is great. Then there's also people that are going to be like, I'm going to jump in. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to jump in person. And so, you know, you got to have 2 people. But the thing is that so many times, guys, and this is just really just kind of a gut check. Sometimes we treat all people, whether they're sitting there telling us, you know, I just want to do a couple and see where it goes. We treat them like an ace when they're already telling us, like, I just want to be a 2. Can I just be a 2? Can you just let me be a 2? You know, and I have a lot of people in my business that are 2s that are now VPs. And so let a 2 be a 2, but honestly, be also smart. Don't leave that person. So if we do a couple of events, we see where it goes, and we book a couple more off of it, I'm going to put those back on my calendar, and I'm going to stick with her until she starts booking her own independent activity. If there's people that get started, I'll put them underneath her, but I'm still going to go and do all of that with her. I'm not going to leave her yet. This is the thing where I just think we leave people too soon. But again, on the other side, don't camp out with people who do 3 events, who are like, you do, we do, I do, and they do on that 3rd event, a great event. And we're doing a little, you know, business thing on a Saturday morning, and she's adding people to her team and she's strong. Honey, let her run and let her go. And you're there to coach her and mentor her. Those are like the aces. Those are like the needles in the haystack we're absolutely looking for. So don't camp out with that. You know, let her go, stay in contact with her, which I'll talk about at the end. But I mean, understand and measure people from the beginning. So make sure, number 1, you're launching people strong. Teach people to lead with the business, guys. And when I talk about that, and this is like such a big deal, because I think sometimes we get really excited. And guys, and for those of you that don't know me, I promise you, I am speaking out of just the pure love in my heart, and I only want your businesses to flourish and to grow. And so if you feel like I'm giving you some strong truth, just know it's out of love, truth and love. But sometimes I feel, because we get so excited that we have somebody that's joining our business, that might be a step above a heartbeat, that, you know, we get so focused on activity that we burn through people's warm markets so fast. And we get so focused on them absolutely booking their launch events, but also booking the activity behind it, that we skip teaching them how to lead with the business and giving them that verbiage of what it looks like. And what I actually end up doing is when I sit down with somebody, so I'm sitting at a coffee, this is exactly what I do. So when I'm sitting at a coffee date and I'm walking through everything with somebody, so I'm walking through the company, like, this is how you promote, this is how much money you can make, where do you see yourself? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm all in. Awesome. So what I do is I literally take the piece of paper, I flip it over and I draw 10 circles. You know, we've already picked her 3 lunch dates. We know when we're going to sit and, you know, do her business event so that we can lead with the business. And she might be sitting there with me like, okay, well, how do I lead with the business? What exactly does that look like? Right. And so I said, I'm going to show you. Guys, I think sometimes we sit and say, okay, well, go home and make a 100-person list. And that like sounds daunting. Like, I don't even like the verbiage, to be really honest. Like 100 people, like most people are like, I don't know 100 people. I'm like, well, how many friends do you have on Facebook? Well, I mean, like 2,000. Okay, well, you know, 100 people that you could, you know, put on a list, or, you know, open up your phone. Let me see your contacts. You're not going to say that because, again, just like I don't want to be the pushy Arbonne girl, neither do you. So an easy way to get them into the mindset of this is I literally flip that piece of paper over after I've walked them through everything else, and I draw 10 circles, 10 little bubbles. And I say, okay, let's list out your 10 networks. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, do you go to church? Yes, there's a bubble. Do you have a life group? Yes, there's a bubble. Somebody might, and I might say, well, you know, what about, you know, do you work? Yes, there's a bubble. Friends, there's a bubble. Family, there's a bubble. People you went to high school with, there's a bubble. People you went to college with, there's a bubble. Your husband, people that your husband works with, there's a bubble. Your kids' sports and other moms on the soccer field or whatever, there's a bubble. Are you a room mom? There's a bubble. Do you have a wine club that you're part of? There's a bubble. Do you have a book club? Like I go through like a ton. So I'm literally writing life group, church, work, you know, friends, neighbors, you know, whatever it is. I'm writing all these people out, people I go to the gym with. And I just sense, okay, now that we've got these at least 10 networks, if you can come up with more than 10, awesome, but at least 10, let's start listing the most influential people. And I sit there, guys, this is not a short appointment. I sit there and I help her start thinking of the most influential people inside of each one of those networks. And as I'm sitting and listing, you know, those people that are in her most influential networks, and I'm like, okay, well, who else do you know? So then I'm sitting and writing a few extra names. Guys, usually you can come up easily with 5 to 10 names in each bubble. You just help them make their 100-person list. But here's the other thing. You sat in that exact moment and you help them identify their most influential people. And I'm like, okay. And I literally just kind of happen to pull out a highlighter in my purse and you know, and I'm like, okay, so let's highlight these people that you think are the most influential. And I say, do you think these people, why do you think they're influential? Do you think they're hard workers? Do you think they're sweet, kind people? You know, do they have a need in their life? Do they not love their job? Like, what is it about some of these people? And I give her literally verbiage of how to reach out to these people. Because guys, I'm going to tell you, nobody, I mean, when I started my business, I was so excited. I went, in my mind, I'm thinking, who in my life would be better at Arbonne than me? And so I was like literally calling them up. I had no verbiage. I was, oh my heavens, it was a bloody mess. But I was like, you have to have coffee with me. Like, we have to sit down. I'm starting this business. I didn't even know what I was saying. It's, you know, ignorance on fire running around. But I was like, you have to sit down and have coffee with me. I just have to tell you what I'm doing. And I sat down and I was like vomiting probably Arbonne on them at the time. But, you know, I thought about who in my life was the most influential that would be amazing at this. Guys, sit down with brand new people. Guys, sit down with people that are in your business now. And maybe this is like a really good exercise for you to do with yourself and say, it's okay, look, it's the beginning of the year still. You know, it might be the 25th of January, but it doesn't matter because the 25th is always double day. So if you want to double your business between now and the end of the month, sit tonight when you get off of this call and write out your 10 networks, maybe 15 networks, maybe 20. Start writing down your most influential people that are in your networks. Guys, I'm going to tell you, when you sit and you kind of start breaking it down this way, you're going to list people that are influential people that you're like, dang, I haven't even talked to this person about Arbonne. I haven't even thought about this person because you're not thinking with this mindset of how you're approaching the networks that you have out there. And so many times, guys, like when we're starting somebody new, we sense, okay, this is the verbiage. This is how you go book go book a party, go book an event, go book a presentation. This is what you say. And guess what they do? They go to their easiest people and they might call like 10 friends and family and get 10 friends that are just friends. And they might get 10 no's and like, yep, I can't do this. Because you never help them identify their networks. And then we've lost. And guess what? Because they only asked for a party and they didn't lead with the business first, they can't go back to those people and say, well, I mean, I know you don't want to do a party, but would you like to do my business with me? And I will never forget Deanna Heron last year at GTC. If you guys have, you know, if you didn't go to GTC last year, or if you want to pull that up, it's on YouTube. Just type in Deanna Heron GTC 2016. I love how she sat and said, I mean, she literally talked about this, and it was just like, it was like one of those moments where you're like, well, duh. And you might be saying that to yourself right this second. But she said, you know, you have the business that you've asked for. But so many times we teach people out the gate to ask for the event versus asking them to join our business. And so really focusing on leading with the business strong. And guys, there's a really easy way that you can do a reset button yourself right now and literally start leading with the business. And even if it's a matter of booking one-on-ones and things like that, with people that you know are your influential people, and sitting and reaching out and saying, you know, like, look, I don't know if you know, but 6 months ago, I started this incredible business with Arbonne, and forgive me for not asking you sooner to take a look at what I'm doing. But as you're starting somebody new, give them verbiage. Guys, role play with people. Like, I can't even tell you how important it is to role play with people, and, you know, setting into where it's comfortable. I'm just like, you know, this is what you say, you know, hey, Rhonda, it's Beth. You know, do you got a quick sack? Sure, absolutely. What's up? Just say, I don't know if you heard, but I just started a new business with Arbonne. I'm crazy excited about it. And of course, she hasn't heard about it because this new business builder started this 5 minutes ago. And I'm really crazy excited about it. And honestly, I would just love the opportunity to share a little bit more with you about what I'm doing. Do you happen to have time for a cup of coffee in the next couple of days? You know, have them ask for that little one-on-one coffee date to share with them about the business. And, you know, she says, oh, well, this sounds kind of interesting. What business is it? Say, honestly, it's an incredible, completely vegan health and wellness business that I'm working, you know, on. I'm just getting started. And let them know it's okay to say, I'm just getting started. So if I don't sound like I'm really fluid with how I'm talking about it, just know that I'm really excited about it. And it's an incredible opportunity. And I thought of you because, important verbiage, I thought of you because, and whatever the reason is, I thought of you because you're a hard worker and you work full time. And I know you'd rather be at home with your kids. I thought of you because you're a stay-at-home mom and you're always talking about how you need something to get out of the house. I thought of you because I know you absolutely despise your job and are looking for a way out of it. I thought of you because you mentioned the other day that you don't have an exit plan at work. You know, you are a hairdresser, and if you don't do hair, you don't get paid, and you have no retirement plan. And this might be something that you can use to supplement your income. I thought of you because whatever the reason is, you're a kind, sweet person, and you have an incredible network, and you're so bubbly and so fun. And honestly, I think you rock this business. Whatever the reason is, I thought of you because, and I just would love to share with you a little bit more. And, you know, if she can grab it, sit down and have coffee right away, absolutely, and go with her, have coffee. And if she's like, yeah, well, this sounds kind of interesting, but, you know, I've got a lot going on, X, Y, and Z. And you say, well, you know what? I'm actually launching my business next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. I would just love for you to pop over and check out what I'm doing. Is there one of those nights you're possibly free? Because here's the thing, when you launch on 3 nights, you're going to have people that can come on Tuesday that couldn't come on Wednesday or Thursday, and vice versa. So when you have 3 nights, you're giving that new business builder more options and more ability to be successful because you've got a bigger net that you're casting. And make sure that those influential people are coming to one of those 3 events. And if they, for some reason, can't come to one of those events, invite them for that coffee on that Saturday morning. But really teaching our teams to truly lead with strength with the business. Because guys, we all know you can get to district all by yourself all day long. And I know that TME has an amazing incentive on promoting out direct districts between now and October. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, you can promote out more than 6. You can promote out 10. You can promote out 1 every single month, but you have to lead strong with the business. But here's the thing. Most people can get to district all by themselves, but they can do district in 1 month with 1 or 2 other people. But if you focus on when you're getting somebody started on helping them lead with strength and really sitting down and drawing out 10 networks and your influential people and reaching out and giving them the verbiage and doing the role play and doing it easy. And maybe it's even on text. Maybe you sit and, you know, she can sit and reach out on text and say, you know, hey, Rhonda, it's Beth. Do you have a quick sec? Can I give you a fast ring? I swear these days, nobody answers the phone without like making an appointment to get on the phone anymore. Like everything is on text. So teach her how to text. And honestly, she can copy and paste that in her phone to all the people that she thinks are influential. You know, hey, Tabitha, it's Beth. Do you have a quick second? I've got something exciting I want to run by you. Can I give you a call? And she said, oh my gosh, I'm walking out the door right now. Can you call me later? Awesome. What time do you want me to call you? And have them set up the appointment to make a call. Because then people actually answer the phone when you say, I'm going to call you at 1 o'clock, and then they call them at 1 o'clock, and then they actually get them on the phone. And then I know I'm running out of time. Oh my gosh, I got to talk to you guys for like, this is like one of my favorite things to talk about if you can't tell. So starting people with the team, you know, the other piece that we have to do is, you know, we have to teach them our skill sets. You know, there are certain skill sets that you have to teach. You know, verbiage is a skill set, believe it or not. How to overcome obstacles, how to get past objections and pushback and answer questions and giving people casual verbiage. Guys, there's so many amazing professional people that we attract into this business that come at this with like, way, like too much. I mean, like be professional 100%, but not so professional that you chase people away. Teach them what that looks like. Teach them that casualness. Teach them how to be a fisher, not a hunter, because it's really important, especially with helping them get success in the beginning of their business. Teach them the verbiage of how to invite people to take a look at their business and how to invite them to events, you know, their launch events, and let them get really comfortable with it. And maybe you sit and text with her after you do your 10 bubbles and you're, you know, drawing out your 10 networks. Sit there with her and help her go through that. You know, when you're doing those 3 launch events, you know, really spend a little bit of time ahead of that, especially if she does 3 plus the business event. She's serious, guys. She's more committed. So spend a little bit of extra time with her, helping her really do a strong presentation, which means having a good opening, having a killer 2 to 3 minute ice story, making sure that she's comfortable with talking about the Arbonne advantage and what makes Arbonne different. Have her be comfortable with the products, but just not spend too much time. I think so many of us fall in love with the products in the beginning, and we spend so much time, you know, focusing. New consultants focus so much on products because that's kind of their comfort zone, versus truly, again, at the very end, teaching them how to do a strong close. Doing the close at the end is my absolute favorite part. I cannot wait to, you know, get to that part. But, you know, teaching them how to do a strong close. And guys, role play with them, sit in their living room with them, be that warm body on the sofa when they're practicing before their events, you know, and getting them connected. This is the other thing that I think is a big, to a degree, a little bit of a shift with really getting people to district, outside of launching them strong, outside of truly showing them how to lead with strength with the business, how to identify the key people in their lives to be amazing at the business and have them lead with the business first versus activity. Because if they're not interested in the business, it's easy to say, okay, totally not a big deal. I get it, but you know, honestly, I'm really looking to build this business, and would you be at least open to doing me a huge favor and just grabbing a handful of gals and let me just pop over? Number one, I want you to see this in action, but also too, like, I'm just looking to meet some new people, and let's, you know, see if you can invite people that you work with, not people that are still in that same network. That's one of the other keys, is making sure they're inviting people to their events that aren't in the same network, that they're branching out. But guys, I'm going to tell you the other biggest key to getting people to district is making sure they stay connected. It is huge. Making sure they're getting on calls, just like this training call, making sure they're, you know, working on self-development, getting to meetings. And sometimes, guys, sometimes in the beginning of our business, I know this sounds crazy, but we have to like drive to their house and bring them to a meeting because they don't understand why those meetings are important. And, you know, the thing is we have to court people. Think back to when you and your significant other, your spouse, first started dating. And, you know, for us women, you know, there's probably plenty of time that we kind of played a little coy. We didn't text. We waited for him to text first, or we didn't call. We waited for him to call first. And sometimes we went ahead and let it go to voicemail, even though you're sitting there because you just didn't want to look too available, or too just needy, or, you know, too excited. Guys, so many times our new business builders do the same thing, because they're just like, they're in half the time they're sitting there like, you know, I don't want to bother her one more time. I've already called her 3 times today. Oh my gosh, like I can't call her 4th time. You know, guys, it is our job as somebody's business, you know, business partner, to truly like reach out and court them, make them feel important, make them feel like they're $1,000,000, make them feel like, the beautiful, bright, shiny penny that they are, make them, reach out. And you know what, if you're thinking about it, just say, hey girl, I just want you to know, I am really excited for you and your business. And I'm really glad to have you on this journey with us. If you need something tonight, please, I know we've talked a few times today, but just give me a call. You'd be amazed at how much she's like, oh, okay, I can call her again. So court people, love on them, but court them. And sometimes, even the ones that sits and says, I just want to do a couple and let's just see where this goes, court them. Because guys, we talk all the time about how people need to be dripped on. But sometimes we drop people too fast. And sometimes we drop people too fast because we do get busy, because we are launching people along with our personal activity. And, my last challenge that I'm going to give you guys is, go back into, your central district. I'm sure there's a lot of consultants that have been sponsored in there in the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, year, that, maybe you didn't court them enough, or maybe they just didn't get started strong enough. And, give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up, but just reach back out to them and say, hey, look, I know last August when you were getting started, I had a lot going on, and I was launching another gal and a lot on my calendar personally, and school and kids and whatever. And, forgive me if I dropped the ball, but, I remember you telling me that this is X, Y, and Z reasons why you want to do this business. And, I know fall got busy, but I didn't know if, the new year, if this is something that you wanted to entertain again. Guys, there's so many people that are sitting in your central district. You have gold already. You've already mined it. It's just time to pick it back up and polish it and let it shine. And so challenge yourself to look back into your central district. Not that I'm telling you to resurrect the dead, but sometimes when we sit and we look at people that are sitting out there, we're like, I might not have done the best job. And maybe we did burn through their warm networks too fast. But the thing about it is sit back down with them. Sit down yourself. Redraw it out. Who do I know? And maybe you give yourself the challenge to come up with more than 10 and start adding, okay, and brainstorming. And this is a living list. So draw it out and start putting names on. And as you're reaching out and talking to people, scratch them off, cross them off, or highlight it if they're interested in the whole 9 yards. But, if you feel like even you have done this, just go back and just redo it again. I mean, that's the beautiful part. Tomorrow is a brand new day in our run. And all of us, get to sit and decide tomorrow, that your business will get better. But it's all about just sitting and saying, okay, this is what it is, but how do I make it better? How do I add to it? How do I sit and make, how do I go back? And sometimes if you feel like you're going back to some of your warm markets, that's okay. You know what I'll tell you? And for a lot of you that do follow me on Facebook, there is a beauty to vulnerability. And there's also a beauty to transparency and honesty. And I will tell you, people will give you grace more than you think. And if you have people in your life that you might have originally when you started this business, you kind of took more of the approach of just getting an event booked versus truly leading with the business, just be honest and just sit and say, you know what, look, I know when I started Arbonne about 6 months ago, we reached out, I chatted with you, and you're so great with hosting an event for me. But to be really honest with you, I actually, I think you'd be amazing at what I do. And, forgive me for not reaching out to you sooner on a business note, but I really would love if you'd be willing to just let me buy you a little latte and let me really kind of walk you through what I do to see if it'd be a fit. If not, totally not a big deal. But I really think this could be something that you'd be incredible at. It's okay to go back. There's actually a lot of gold in that. So, give yourself some grace, but, decide that tomorrow is going to be your new start, but just take some time tonight and draw out your bubbles and start putting your people's names in it. And some of that might be names that you could pull off that, we all have a living list of people who owe us events. But start tomorrow, and decide, what, February is going to be amazing. I'm going to have quality parties quality events with influential people. And as I find people to join my business, I'm going to teach them to do the same. So I know that I'm like way over, so forgive me. Oh my gosh, 10 minutes over. I could just keep talking. I'm like the Armando, pull my string. Yes. Do you guys have questions? And I know too, you guys have another little thing you do at the end as well of your calls.
Are there, I know there's a few questions in the chat. I was going to look, Beth, and just see if there was anything that you didn't already answer. I think you kind of answered them as they were being asked. So
I know, I was trying.
Yeah, you're just that good. But I will say one of the questions that did come across is, what do you do with someone who's maybe out of state or not local, where you could do that follow-up coffee date or that fourth event? What kind of an alternative do you have for them?
You know, the thing about it is, and this is in this day and age, guys, I mean, we all have to embrace technology more. We just do. You know, the beauty of Zoom, just like this, and is just, it's an easy way to connect with people. You know, I've got a gal on my team, and one night at 11 o'clock, you know, we sat and did a Zoom call with some of her contacts in Taiwan. And so, I mean, it was like a three-way call. It was like a coffee date. They were having coffee. I was not, because it was 11 o'clock at night. But I mean, we sat and walked through the exact same stuff and I mean, it's embracing technology, even when people aren't far. And you know, the beauty of doing virtual events and doing Facebook Lives and doing things like that is you can build your business, without always getting on an airplane. I mean, this is a crazy thing. When I look at my Australia team, and I know some of you guys have heard me share this before, but I didn't get on a plane until Janet, who is my direct RVP there. I mean, I didn't get on a plane until she was doing 20,000 a month. Like, sometimes we jump on, we go chasing things a little bit too soon. But there's so much I was able to coach her, mentor her, and share with her that I literally landed. She was a bonusing area, met her for the first time at the Sydney airport. So give yourself a little bit more credit to use Zoom for, you know, for things that aren't sitting in your backyard. Because it might be one of your networks might be, you know, friends that I grew up with in Washington State, you know, so how do I reach out to them? You just set up Zoom. And I'll tell you what I love about Zoom is it's this, like, you guys can see my face, you can hear me talk, you can see my intonation. And there's a lot of power in that. So just embrace technology, embrace what that looks like. And even if it's somebody that is hosting for you from afar and they're doing a Facebook event, or they've got people in their living room, and you're on the computer, it's just, you know, the ordering process gets a little bit trickier, but you reward people for placing an order. Whoever places the first one gets free shipping. Who places the second one gets, you know, whatever, 10% off, you know. Reward people for ordering, and there's ways to get that follow-up, and knowing that, you know, the host that's helping you is going to have to do a little bit of extra legwork and all that kind of stuff. So but just embrace technology for sure.
Okay, absolutely. I would totally agree. And you guys, Zoom is free. You can sign up for Zoom free. Every single one of you can have your own account. And you have a 45-minute free time span each time you get on Zoom. So, and that's plenty of time to do like what you're talking about, a coffee date or a follow-up visit. So,
hey, Vicki.
awesome. Yes.
Hey, this is Kat. Can I ask Beth a question?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hey, Beth, it's Kat.
Hey, honey.
I could listen to you all day. And I have like 3 questions. So I'm just going to go through them really, really quick. I have a girl in Australia that I know. I went with her to high school in Germany, and then I moved to America and she moved to Australia, and we lost touch. And we recently reconnected over Facebook. And I want to approach her with the business. So that's my first question, because we've been out of touch for so long. What's a good verbiage? Then my second question is, when you talked about your coffee dates, do you tell them to order their getting started products that day, or do you have them do their 3 launch dates first? or do you kind of go with either a jumper or a toe tipper? And then my third question is, I have a bunch of clients who order a lot of products all the time. Would that be a good idea to approach them with the business as well?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the question is absolutely. And, you know, I would say something along the lines like, obviously, I know how much you absolutely adore Arbonne products. And, you know, there's a really lucrative business opportunity that's attached to this, you know, and I don't know if this would be a fit or not, but I would love to just buy you a cup of coffee and just walk you through what our business looks like and see if this might be a fit. Easy, lobbing it out there, fishing, not hunting. Absolutely, 100%. As far as, you know, your contact that you have in Australia and reaching back out to that person, you know, the thing about it is, you know, take the white elephant out of the room. Like anytime that I am like connecting with somebody that I feel like we haven't talked in a while and it's awkward and what am I going to say, you know, honestly, I just call a spade a spade. Like, hey, look, you know, how are you doing? Be careful not to get on like 5,000 tangents of a conversation. Just say, you know, I know and so sometimes you got to cut a little bit to the chase. You know, hey, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Just say, hey, look, I'm going to be honest. I know we haven't talked in a while. And I recently started a business with Arbonne. And Arbonne's actually in Australia. And I thought of you because back in high school, X, Y, and Z, I just adored you. I just think that this would be something that you would knock out of the park. And I was just curious if you'd be interested in just to hear more. And I mean, Arbonne has only been out in Australia for 10 years. They're getting ready to celebrate their 10th anniversary. So it is still a baby over there. So, you know, you can sit and share that kind of a thing. And then what was that second question you said? Sorry.
The third question was about the product,
yes.
getting started products in the business coffee date.
Yeah. So a lot of it is personal preference. I mean, honestly, a lot of that goes back. I give people the option. If they want to get a success pack or even a couple ASVPs and get started and get product. And I tell them, I'm like, you know, when I got started with product. I went in and bought, you know, initially the product because I hadn't even used it yet. So I wanted to use it. But I said, but it all depends on, of course, where you are financially. We have other options. But I don't just only offer just to earn their products at their event, because there's a lot of people that will 100% buy a fit kit as well as buy a nutrition kit or buy a skincare kit. So they have, you know, two of our biggest lines that they can be personally using and also use for their events. So I give them the option. A lot of it just depends on where they are financially. So my default isn't always just earning your products at your events. I would say in my organization, I'd say probably 80% of people earn their products at their events, but there are still people that will absolutely order. So definitely, just say it depends on where you're at financially. There's a couple different options to how you can get your product.
Okay, awesome, Beth. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed your training, and I took like 5 pages of notes.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Well, the great part of that too, Beth, is when you do 3 events in a week, you can maximize the hostess benefits a lot easier than having it strung out over a longer period of time. So that's a great tip. Great tip.
It's repetition. You know, I mean, any research shows that anything that you can do, you know, repetitiously together, like boom, 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 3 events. So they're hearing the same thing 3 nights a stick. But also too, I mean, if you do 3 events and she casts a big net and you do your bubbles with her and all the different networks and you start helping her really invite and really, you know, work on her verbiage for that. And so let's say one night 4 people come, one night 6 people come, one night 10 people come. You know, you still have 20 people that came to her launch events over 3 nights. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want 20 people showing up on one night. I didn't even want 2 nights of 10 people. So, I mean, I would much rather kind of space it out. So I know it's practice for her. I know that some of my events physically will be smaller, which will honestly give me better bookings. The product sales will be better. Like, it's just all around. And like you said, when you squish them together into 1 week, and I just say, look, it's just like a learning curve at work. It's going to feel a little bit extra uncomfortable in the beginning because you're learning, and it's going to feel like a lot, but it's just 1 week. And I promise you'll thank me when we get done. You know what I mean? So, and that's also too, it's just a great way. This sounds kind of terrible, but it's my way of measuring truly their commitment level, because there's a lot of times, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but there's a lot of times people give us a lot of lip service, like, yeah, I want to do it. And then they get abducted by aliens and you're like, where'd you go? Well, they're sitting with you in coffee and they feel pressure, like, I've got to do this. You know what I mean? And so it just takes a little bit of that away, you know?
Absolutely. Well, Beth, make sure you read the chats. You have a lot of accolades there. A lot of people have absolutely loved this training. And I'm telling you, you've given a lot of real practical verbiage, which is always so helpful, and some really good, fresh ideas too. So, goodness, thank you for your time. You're always such an incredible gift to get to listen to and to learn from, and always love sitting at your feet.